I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Come on, everybody. Here we go.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Film Box Podcast, the greatest movie podcast on planet Earth, if I do say so myself. I'm your host, Aaron Souza, and I'm joined today by my good friends. The usual crew is here, Sam and Connor. And what's this? We have a new challenger has entered the playing field. We got our good friend Noah is here. And we're doing a Studio Ghibli movie tier list, and it's gonna be something. So how you guys doing? What's good?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, we don't care about the usual guys anymore.
Yeah,
We're
no.
you guys are like, no. We got a new guy.
We got Buzz Lightyear, me and
Yeah.
Sam or Woody.
Yeah, it's just being tossed
Yeah.
aside now.
Yeah, I don't want to play with you anymore.
But yeah, no. So Noah, you tell us, I guess, a little bit about like your like interests. I know we're doing this. You're here because we're doing kind of this Ghibli tier list, but like just give us a little bit of like what you're into. Maybe you're like your Letterboxd top 4, so we can kind of get a sense
Sure.
of what you're into.
Yeah. So my top 4 on Letterboxd is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Fantastic Mr. Fox,
Good man.
Get Out, and then a Studio Ghibli movie, Grave of the Fireflies.
Wonderful.
Great, man.
Wonderful. Well, we
Yeah.
will not be talking about Grave of the Fireflies today, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah, not a
yeah.
Miyazaki, but still, an all-timer.
That's all right. But yeah, no, this is going to be a lot of fun. So the way that we usually do this is before we do anything that we start or like the main meat of the episode, we always start off with talking about what we've been watching lately. So who wants to go first? Who wants to kick us off on that? At Sam. Sam always goes first.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've watched a total of 9 movies
Woo!
this past week. It's been
Wow.
weird. It's been
Nice.
usually I'm usually I'm hovering around like 2 or 3.
Okay.
Now,
I got 4
and
this
stuff.
week.
Yeah. But yeah, I was on obviously I had to grind some Miyazaki, so I watched Kiki's Delivery Service, Not My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke, Porco Rosso, Ponyo, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, Boy and the Heron, and I just finished up Castle in the Sky. And aside from that, I also went to finally go see Gladiator 2 yesterday. So that was the only outlier.
Nice.
Nice,
So it was a
okay.
nice little break of Ghibli to go see
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Ghibli the
so-
Gladiator. Do you
Good
do a
old-
Clicked?
I did not because I'm not sure if I'm gonna go see a 2-hour and 40-minute musical in theaters.
Oh, dude. I am. Em texted me this morning. She's like, can we go see Wicked? I was like, yep, we're going.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see that.
Yeah, I have to review it anyway. So I was like, yeah, we
I
absolutely
might
we can go see it.
eventually,
But
I'm not sure.
You're probably
Oh,
so
man.
happy she suggested it too. You're like, I mean, I guess.
if
I
you're,
twist
if you're
my
pulling
arm.
my arm.
I mean, it's been getting really good reviews. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
But are you drinking anything this morning?
I'm drinking some coffee.
Ew. Nasty.
Sam
with
drinks
a
like the
side of
most
some
normal
iced
things in
tea.
the morning.
Yeah, he does. All right. I will go next. Because mine's gonna be quick. This week, I started it off. Noah and I went to go see The Brutalist in theaters for an early screening last Saturday. Phenomenal movie, really, really excellent. It was like one of those movies, and I told you when we got done, or like when we would hit intermission, is like I had this moment where I was like, have you ever had that moment where you were watching a movie and you realize, okay, this might be the greatest thing you've ever seen? Because that was the moment I had that moment when I was watching The Brutalist. It blew me away. So I loved it. Follow that up with 6 Ghiblis, and that's it. And we'll talk about them.
Nice.
Well, which ones?
Well, hey, we'll talk about it.
All right, so I named off mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, fine. I watched Boy and the Heron, Howl's Moving Castle, Kiki's Delivery Service, Ponyo, Princess Mononoke, and The Wind Rises. And then we will
Nice.
talk about them.
What are you drinking?
It's water. Just got a water.
Boring
Per
ass.
usual. Per usual.
Mm. Yep. Hey, sometimes I got something special. All right. No, what have you been watching lately? Maybe give us like, not necessarily from this past week, but like maybe the past few, like last 7 or 8 movies that you've
Sure.
seen.
Sure. So let's see. Just yesterday I finished Castle in the Sky. That was the only one that I'd watched for this tier list that
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen previously. I watched The Wild Robot in theaters, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, you
Nice.
actually got to see it in theaters? That's sick.
Yep.
That's sick.
Cried multiple times. Was very good.
Same.
As you should.
Yep. I watched Matilda the night that I got home from The Brutalist. So that was
What a double
you know,
feature.
Yeah, really good double screening there. I just needed some good vibes after The
Not as good
Brutalist.
not as good as a Connor's double feature last
Yeah.
time.
Oh, Virgin Suicides and Boss Baby.
Yep. Yeah, that's a little more on the extreme ends of things.
or my double feature of Honora and Flushed Away from last week. Lesser known double feature on the pod.
Yep.
Oh man.
And then there are a couple Studio Ghibli movies, but that was before I knew I was doing this. Whisper of the Heart I watched, which I really liked. Spirited Away I had never seen. It was just a huge blind spot for me, even though I love
Wow.
Ghibli and other anime stuff. And then Anchorman, Practical Magic, and The Terminal.
Wow. That's diverse. I love it.
Yep.
And Connor, you can list off the 35 that you got. It's fine.
It's just 12.
Just 12.
Just 12.
Hey, I was 3 away from beating him. I was 3 away from beating him.
It was close.
Sorry, 4 away from beating him.
Started with some 2024s, did The Outrun and Amelia Perez.
Mm.
Both pretty good. Went to my watch list, actually starting to knock some out. Watch God's Own Country, very good. Breakfast at Tiffany's, another really good one. I really wish they just weren't so racist in it.
When was that movie made? Like, was that a 50s movie?
60s.
Oh, well,
They
Okay.
made Mickey Rooney an Asian man.
yeah, they did.
Famously, he's not.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Then I went on my Studio Ghibli run, did Ponyo, Princess Mononoke, went back to the watch list, watched The Theory of Everything, Manchester by the Sea, went back to some Miyazaki with Castle in the Sky, Nausicaa, and then I watched He's Just Not That Into You with my girlfriend Erin and her friend Chelsea.
Very nice.
And yesterday, I just wanted to rewatch Alien Romulus, and I watched half of The Wind Rises.
Nice. Very nice.
So
Very
12
nice.
and a half movies.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so what are you drinking? And Noah, also you too, because I forgot to ask you.
Oh yeah, water.
Sweet.
I got my sparkling ice energy.
Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. Well, I have.
Don't worry, guys. I got the coffee.
Yeah. Okay. Just that is a huge mug, by the way. That is a massive
It is.
mug of coffee.
Well, I think it's more wide than long, like some things.
Okay.
But,
Hey, yo.
no, it's just
That's
one,
not a compliment. That's
just
not a
one-
brag.
it's just one K cup, so it's not anything.
Okay. So before we get into this tier list, I do have something a couple of things I want to bring up. The first thing though, and I think maybe something that I want to do is like a recurring bit. I just want to bring to your attention the world of this has fascinated me, by the way. The world of movie product tie-ins, because they are crazy. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's a big movie out called Wicked. And it's got a lot of these things, and some of them they are wild. So I just want to go over a couple for you. So you got like your normal ones, like you usually see that you don't really pay attention to, stuff like, oh yeah, this is a Wicked phone case, or like a Wicked t-shirt, you know, or like brands that do that. But this first one I want to talk about, Great Value, famously the Walmart generic brand, did a tie-in with Wicked for the Great Value Wicked Mystery Color Macaroni and Cheese Cup.
Ew.
It is a cup of microwavable macaroni and cheese that either has a green or pink sauce, depending on what you buy.
That's so gross.
What
Imagine
flavor
opening
is
it
this
up.
pink or green? Does it say what flavor, or is it just cheese?
It's
just added food
it's all regular mac and cheese flavor, but either will be pink or green, and you don't know until you make it.
What if you mix it? What does pink and green make when you mix it?
Probably brown, probably poop
Vomit.
brown, vomit. But that's one. And some of these other ones are again, you know, stuff you'd expect, like Wicked makeup sets or jewelry or whatever. Then we get to Patron Silver Tequila, that released a tie-in with a recipe for Good Green Matcha Cocktail and You're Gonna Be Popular Mocktail, which are pink and green cocktails featuring Patron Tequila, which is, you know, fine.
Okay.
You don't think of matcha as something you would put in a cocktail.
No, not really.
Interesting.
Hold on, let me get down to some of these other ones.
I mean, all of Target
yes.
is like Wicked now.
Yes. Betty Crocker saw what Great Value was doing and said, I want a piece of that, and revealed a mix to reveal Betty Crocker Wicked Cupcake kit, which could get you either pink or green cupcakes. You don't know which is which until you make it.
Okay, so Wicked is like the Shack of movies.
Like,
they're just
Pretty much, yeah. They're not saying no to anything.
Yeah.
just whatever you offer, they will be a part of.
Yes.
But you know what's gonna happen? Someone's gonna have one of those, like one of the macaronis or a cupcake, and they're gonna poop green or pink, and they're gonna end up in the hospital. And that's gonna be
Yes.
Wicked's legacy.
Yes.
Yep.
A little bit less weird, but Rice Krispie treats, also Wicked themed with sprinkles, and they are this time just green. They're not pink, just green and white.
Okay. So
No pink.
They're taking sides.
They took the alphabet side. Then we've got another great one, the beloved brand Wicked So Popular candle that is scented like So Popular. Don't know what that smells like, but apparently they are trying to make you smell popular.
Okay.
So those are the few that really stood out to me from the Wicked tie-ins. But man, we got to revisit this like every so often, because movie tie-in stuff is just the wildest shit.
Yeah, it can get crazy sometimes.
Yep. Good old Great Value. Good old Great Value mac and cheese. It's just
Betty
the dumbest.
Crocker.
Anyways, so that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up.
Mhm.
Anyone else have something before I move into my other things that I wanted to bring up?
I don't think so.
Nah.
All right, cool. So last week, I talked about the Hollywood Reporter top streaming movies of the week. We got another list today, folks. The top 5 streaming movies of this week, and I need you guys to guess what they are. And here's a hint: you won't. We'll start with number 5. Yeah, this is a Disney Plus movie. What is the number 5 streaming movie this week?
Moana, because Moana 2 is coming out.
It's a smart guess. It's not right though.
Deadpool and Wolverine is definitely up there.
It's a good guess. Also, no.
Is it on the list?
No.
Damn.
I will give that to you for free.
Is it animated?
I will give you animated. Yes. Sam, I need a guess from you, and then I will reveal what number 5 is.
Come on, Sam.
What was it last week? Inside Out. I'm just gonna guess Inside Out 2 this week.
Yeah, you're right. It's Inside Out 2.
Shit, really?
It's Inside Out 2.
Nice.
309 million minutes streamed. That's
There you
number
go,
5.
Sam.
So, number 4. This is a Peacock on Peacock and Netflix.
Is it Twisters?
It is not Twisters. I like that guess though.
Saturday night.
Also a really good guess, but also not right.
Is it the Rage, the Russell Crowe one again?
No, it is not.
Is it a Christmas movie?
No, it is not a Christmas movie.
Gonna say Hot Frosty.
It's that wouldn't that be amazing? No, the number 4 movie, I will just reveal it. Number 4 movie is Sing again. 344 million minutes watched. Sing is just this was on the list last week. It is back again this week. Number 3, this is a Netflix movie.
Like a Netflix original, or it's just on Netflix?
I believe it is a Netflix original.
Is it one we've already said?
No.
Okay. So
Is
I
it a
don't think
Christmas
so.
movie?
It is not a Christmas movie.
it's not Hot Frosty.
It's not Hot
Minions.
Frosty. Minions is a good guess. That is incorrect.
I don't even know what's on Netflix right now.
I don't either.
I will give you a hint, Connor. You reviewed this movie recently.
Is it Woman of the Hour?
No, it is not Woman of the Hour, but that's a good guess.
Is it Don't Move?
It is Don't Move. Don't Move is number 3 stream movie this week, 452 million minutes. Number 2 movie is also on Netflix.
Is this one a Christmas movie?
No. This one might surprise you.
Bad
You give
Boys
us a
4
hint?
again?
It is not Bad Boys 4 again, but that's a good guess. What else we got? Any other guesses?
I don't know. I don't know what's on Netflix.
This is an animated movie.
Okay, animated.
Animated movie. Is it something we already said?
No. This is a new entry to the list.
Ooh. I don't know.
All right.
Fucking-
The number 2 movie. Kung Fu Panda 4.
Okay.
Randomly this week.
Okay.
499 minutes. And then the number 1 movie, also Netflix.
Is this a Christmas movie?
Absolutely not. This is pretty far from a Christmas movie.
Okay, what's the opposite of Christmas?
Halloween movie. Is it a horror
I wouldn't. I don't know if it's quite horror,
movie? Okay, so
but it is a familiar film.
okay. Have we talked about it?
When?
Like
On this episode?
yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is it Minions?
It is not Minions. I love the guess though.
I feel like that was a good guess.
That was a fantastic guess.
What else have we talked about on this episode?
Connor, you did mention it.
While we were listing off movies?
Yes, sir.
Woman of the Hour?
It is Woman of the Hour.
Oh, nice.
Again.
Oh,
That top
nice.
spot 2 weeks in a row. 653 million minutes watched on Netflix.
Wow.
2 weeks
I didn't
in a
know that
row.
movie was so popular.
I didn't either. Apparently, it's popular enough to be the top movie 2 weeks in a row. But that's so that's that. The only other thing that I got, and Sam, I teased this to you yesterday, is have you guys heard of the Escape Pod on the podcast, the Escape Pod? They're usually on TikTok, and it's like the two guys, and they always have controversial opinions or whatever. They're pretty popular on TikTok. And I think we've talked about them on this podcast before. It's like one of them's Hat Guy, and
Oh, yes.
yeah, Hat Guy, and yeah. So they were talking. They had a guest on the other day, and this just really blew my mind. And they were talking about like they do this segment where they do like hot takes, and then they do like agree or disagree. They like have little things that they hold up. It's like agree or disagree. And one of the things that they said was like, all right, Lord of the Rings is one of the greatest trilogies of all time. And two of the three put up agree. And one of them, Hat Guy, did not. He said disagree. And he said he did not like Lord of the Rings at all. Not only that, but he only watched the first one.
Well, I mean,
But it came.
he's just trying to be different.
Well, he was
Yeah,
like, yeah, I just found it really, really boring and really whatever. And come to find out, he watched the extended edition as his only foray into Lord of the Rings. But it just got me thinking, like, what is Lord of the Rings legitimately like a top 3 trilogy of all time? I think it might be.
Yes.
I think it might
yes.
be, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm a little bit biased, but I think it's my favorite.
I mean, what else is in contention?
That's
I
the
mean,
thing. I'm trying to think.
I think
what
the
else could it
original
be?
OG Star
Yes.
Wars.
Yes,
in
that's definitely a
contention.
contender. The Before trilogy, I think, is a contender for greatest trilogies. Oh, I can't think of much else that I would really stack against.
Dark Knight trilogy, possibly.
I wouldn't, because
I
really the
would.
only really
it's
good Dark
Maze.
Knight movie is the second one. Like the other ones are just fine to me.
The Godfather Part 3 isn't great, but 1 and 2 are so good that a lot of people like to have the Godfather trilogy in there.
Mm-hmm.
You could say
It's
Toy
like-
Story, but then
Toy Story is not a bad
4 and
pull.
5.
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon's not a bad pull either.
That's a good
You
pull.
could say Planet of the Apes was a really good trilogy too.
Planet of
Would
the
be
Apes.
The fourth.
I would throw Indiana Jones in there too. Maybe.
Yeah,
possibly.
I would throw
As
that
like
in
a
there.
top 5 for me. So obviously
I-
the last
I-
two, not really, but the original the Indiana Jones trilogy.
Well, the last two really. I just think I really do think that like Lord of the Rings might be like a top 2 or top 1 trilogy of all time. I can't think of something that I really would just distinctly put over the top of it.
Yeah, I would have it at 1.
Yeah, because I'm scrolling down Reddit right now on a discussion about it, and all of these, like Planet of the Apes, Toy Story, they're all like either they keep going after 3, or they're like with the Dark Knights, like yeah, but you can pick apart 1 or 2 of the movies, like the Godfather, you
Mhm.
can pick apart.
Mm-hmm.
How about Guardians of the Galaxy?
That's a good
That's
trilogy.
that's a strong one too. Yeah,
That's a good trilogy. I think 2 is kind of the lame duck of it, but it's still very
The
good.
weakest, but it's still very good. Yeah.
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 I would say Before is probably pretty good, even though I think it starts really hot and then the decline isn't that steep, but I think it does decline in my eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if Beyond the Spider-Verse is as good as the first 2, I'm having that in there.
It's definitely up there.
Interesting. It's so weird. The three of you guys are really high on those movies. I like them. I don't think that they're like 10 out of 10s, but they're really good.
I honestly think they're some of the best just comic book movies ever made. Just
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
They're very good. They're very good. All right, are we ready to talk about Miyazaki?
What we're really,
What we're really here for?
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready.
What we brought our
Yeah.
expert opinion in for.
I mean, I haven't even seen all of them, so expert's a
It's all
stretch,
right.
but
I watched all but one of them this week, so it's a bit. You've got a bit of a leg up on me.
mhm.
Yeah. I missed Wind Rises.
Yeah. All right,
We all missed a couple.
Connor, run us down the tiers.
Yeah, so just because Aaron didn't really clarify, these are just the Miyazaki Ghibli
Yes.
movies.
Yeah.
There's,
We didn't have time to do all of the Ghiblis.
yeah. So our tiers, we got Castle High in the Sky. We have House here because it's just so great. I mean, it's still a vibe, and not his best work. We do not
And-
have a pee pee poo poo tier because that is blasphemous.
Yeah.
There is no
Here.
Miyazaki pee pee poo poo.
And I think to that point, we're gonna be, I think, have to be a little bit more nitpicky here about some of these movies and how they're placed because most of them are very, very good. So the differences
Yeah.
between them are going to be a lot tighter than like comparing Shrek to Flushed Away or Ruby Gilman
Yeah.
Teenage Kraken from last
We'll go it
week.
off. Yeah,
be-
we'll go it off of.
It's a B movie.
Oh, Aaron, why don't you tell the audience about
Oh,
your?
yes. Yes. If you listened last week, you would know how much I hate the B movie.
The B movie.
The B movie. It's a sin. It is a plague on society. And so I've been working on expanding my physical media DVD collection a little bit. And I ordered a mystery box on eBay. A box of 50 movies, just various DVDs. Completely random, no specific genre, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll just do this. This is fun, kind of a fun way to expand the collection. Open it up. One of the first movies that I pull is the B movie.
The B movie.
And the B movie. And I honestly wanted to throw it out my window, my third floor window. It is a blight on this world. I hate that movie so much.
You know what you should do? You should write a strongly worded note to your ex, pop it in there, and mail it to her.
Be like, thank you for ruining Jerry Seinfeld for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
God,
Anyways,
it's the worst. All right, let's talk about Miyazaki.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with Castle in the Sky.
I have not seen it.
I literally finished watching it 10 minutes before I hopped on here to record. So.
Nice.
I watched it last night.
All right.
So it's kind of funny because after seeing a lot of these, I've come to realize that Miyazaki has like two really deep bags: anti-war
Mm-hmm.
and flying.
Mm.
When he's making a movie about war, it's beautiful. When he's making a movie about things in the sky, he is in his deep bag.
Mm-hmm.
You can combine them, we're cooking. Castle in the Sky. For me, I feel like this movie starts a bit slow,
Mhm.
but really picked up emotionally in the second half once they get to the floating kingdom.
Mhm.
Um and I also wanted to ask, when you guys watch these movies, are you watching them with the English dub or with subtitles?
Yeah, I dub it.
It depends for me. Like if I'm watching with my wife, we're watching it in English, but if I'm by myself, then I prefer the Japanese.
That's why you're the expert. That's why we brought you in.
I would say normally I prefer just listening in the natural language and then just reading, but with these movies they get a very good like English cast as well.
Yeah, Studio Ghibli definitely has like some of the best English dubs in all of anime.
Yeah, because they got Mark Hamill as Muska, like
Mhm.
the villain in this movie, and he is like so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because what this came out in '86. When did the animated Batman movie show came out?
I mean,
'Cause he's
that's
basic.
like hot off the
Well,
heels of Star Wars for Mark Hamill
Well, I
well,
was
I
gonna
was
say
of Return.
he's basically the Joker in this movie.
Oh God.
He's Muska is one of the more evil people in all of Studio Ghibli. Like just
Oh my God.
downright like an abhorrent person.
Man, this
Yeah.
sounds like a great movie. I'm glad I watched it.
so I was looking at something. Um, this movie came out in '86.
Mhm.
Anna Paquin, Paquin, I don't know how
Paquin.
you say it.
Paquin.
Paquin.
She voices Sheeta. She
Mhm.
was only 4 years old when this movie came out.
Yeah.
What?
I
So
mean,
I think they might have did the English dub later.
yeah. Usually that's what happens.
Because even on the Castle of the Sky, I typed in Castle of the Sky English cast, and Mark Hamill's not on it. I'm not-
Let's see. Hold,
it's
please.
we-
Usually
that's
they
kinda
have
confusing
two
me.
different dubs.
Well, there's like a Disney. Yeah, there was the Disney one, and then there was
Oh, okay.
like a Takuma.
Yeah,
I'm on
so
the-
the
Oh,
original
okay.
the original dub was 1988, and then
Yeah.
Disney Buena Vista did one in 2003. That's what has Anna
Oh, that's
Paquin
probably
and
the-
Mark
okay,
Hamill and all that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So when Mark Hamill was Muska, this is 2003. He was
Yes,
already
this is 2003.
Got
he
it. Got
he
it. Got it.
perfected his Joker.
Mhm.
So yes, he is like perfectly evil. Just the embodiment of power hungry, doesn't care who he has to kill, and
Mhm.
um, in order to just obtain all the power in the world.
Yeah.
Uh, how where do we want to put it for us watchers?
Again, I agree with you, Connor. It was pretty. I almost lost me in the beginning, to be honest, but like
Mhm.
it did pick up at the end, and
Mhm.
especially at the end when they actually went into the Laputa. Laputa.
Yeah.
I think it's called?
Laputa.
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 Mhm.
Mhm. I think it's beautiful
Um
too, with like when they get there and like the robot is just there tending to the planet.
You know what? It had a lot of wild robot vibes.
It really did.
Honestly.
yeah, that's true.
When we got to that part. um,
I
I'm good with Howl's hair.
I'm also cool with that.
Yeah.
I did want to say when we got to this movie, what was with the scene with all of the pirate men just like lusting for this 12-year-old
yeah.
girl?
Yeah, that was a little weird. I,
I was like
All
it
right,
did
drop
not
it
need
down.
that. It did not need that at all.
that
like
was a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah.
but the rest of the movie is really great. But it was a little slow though in the first half.
I did like
I mean-
to towards the end as like all the pirates are just hanging out in their ship as like this as the Laputa is falling apart, and they're just like, should we be doing anything? And Dole is just like, no. We're good here. Just chill.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then once everything's like blowing up, she's like, okay, now we can go.
Mhm.
All these people are dying around us, but it's like, no, we're good. They don't
Yeah,
know
we're
here.
chilling.
Yeah. All right, next up we got Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh man,
Oh,
this
is a
is
good one.
really good. This one's really good, man. Oh, I really like Howl's Moving Castle a lot. It is a top 5 movie or top 4 movie for Kieran Culkin, which already puts it like a top tier movie. But no, Howl's Moving Castle. There's so much I love about it, man. There's like a wonder to it. You talk about like, you know, Miyazaki being in his bag with like flying and also war. And this is a war movie that really just, or anti-war movie really, that
Mhm.
works so well on the small scale that it tells the story in. I mean, really, it's just about this one person who gets turned old, and I just love how she literally gets turned old, and she's just like, all right, I guess I got to deal with this shit now. Let's get this taken care of.
I
It's
know.
awesome.
Like she just immediately is like, okay, I'm gonna chill out, and then I'm gonna go hunt down Howl, and he's gonna help me out.
Yeah. And then she finds Howl's like, I'll just be your cleaning lady. I don't really care.
Mhm.
And
It's
then
just-
Billy Crystal as Calcifer.
Oh
was
my
great.
god.
Calcifer is one of the best side characters in all of
Oh,
Ghibli.
oh yeah.
Dude, Billy Crystal, put Billy Crystal in more movies, please. I love him. He's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good voice actor.
There's something coming out soon. I don't know
I
if it was
hope
a
so.
show or a movie, but I thought he had something in the works.
I hope so. Let me see. Billy Crystal. What's he got? Filmography. Come on. Where is his filmography? Come on. Billy Crystal filmography. 2021, he was in a movie called Here Today, and he has nothing else after that.
Could have sworn I saw his name on like something.
Oh,
that he
there's
was
a
promoting.
mini series called Before that came out this year.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
man,
I'm cool with Howl's in either the top tier or the one below it. I am a little lower on this one than most people, but I still like it. I still think it's very good.
see. I think it's. I mean, I try to think of like what could be wrong with this movie. I don't really see it. There's nothing that really stands out to me
Mm-hmm.
personally.
I think I watched this movie a few months ago, but I think the problem that I had with it was kind of a little bit confusing in the beginning of how like his castle actually worked. And like it's like, oh, he just opened the door and he's at a different place. But then obviously it explained it later in the movie. But
I like
think
the
it was just a
mystery
little
of it.
confusing for me at the beginning. But again, that's I'm really nitpicking with that
Yeah.
one, which Aaron, you told us to do. So
Absolutely, we got a nitpick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe
I'm good with
the
either
one thing
one
that
of the top two tiers. I'm good with. So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like towards the end, you could kind of say like it loses it a little bit, like on the very, very end. But I don't know. I
Yeah.
personally don't think it's
Yeah.
enough to drop it down from top tier.
I agree.
But
That my issues lie in like the final act of it, but I
Yeah.
still think that the first two acts are so good and like
Mhm.
as really like the pinnacle of Studio Ghibli being like full of wonder and all this stuff.
yeah,
So I think it's fine being in the top tier.
It's good with me.
okay.
All right. Next up, we got Kiki's Delivery Service. So these past two ones were on my watch list from way back when I went to Florida. So they're not the freshest in my mind.
Yeah.
But I had this thought recently when I was thinking about this, Ponyo, and Spirited Away. And I feel like these movies kind of fall on a spectrum. In after seeing like Mononoke and Nausicaa, where I feel like the plots of these movies are established within the first 30 minutes, and then you have another hour and a half of side plots happening.
Yeah.
And to varying degrees, like we'll get to Spirit Away when we get there. We'll get to Ponyo when we get there. I feel like Kiki's does a good enough job of like filling the remainder of the time with like relevant enough side plots
Mhm.
as she's like just kind of finding her place in the world as she's like, I'm a witch, but like what am I really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that those ones are more character driven than plot driven. Like
Exactly.
with Kiki's, it's like trying to find like when you start doing something you love as a job, that's what you're doing on your day to day, trying to reignite the love that you have for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that like is very relatable for a lot of like younger audiences and even like into your early 20s. But I think it definitely is more geared towards the younger audience, and the plot is not the focus for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, it's a lot about that independence too. Of you're out on your own. You need to
Mhm.
find what your role is, what your
Yeah.
calling is in this world.
Yeah.
Um, when no one else has your back, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the
Yeah.
beginning it didn't even like it literally was like, oh, here's this girl's family. All right, bye.
Goodbye.
Never
Goodbye.
see your family. Never see your family again.
Yeah.
See ya. Kind
Yeah.
of like, well, not. But like it was like dude, we didn't get any like build up in the beginning with the like how close she was with her parents and her like her community. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think you
I wish I
kind
kind of saw a little bit more of that, but
of and you mentioned, Connor, like about some of these movies. I think there's a clear distinction between, and Noah, you and I talked about this before. Like Miyazaki has two different types of movies. He's got plot movies and vibes movies.
Mhm.
And this is a vibes movie. This is a movie where it's like, okay, yeah, there's a plot, but you're just watching this little girl figure out her life and be a witch. And
Mhm.
that's pretty much it. And
Yeah.
I think this one is more successful than some of the other ones. I enjoyed a lot of her figuring herself out, but also like the big conflict for her comes in like the back half of the movie, and then it's resolved within 10 minutes.
yeah.
Like of her
It's kinda
losing
like-
her flight powers.
It's like Spider-Man 2, kind of like it's the same conflict there. It's like
Yeah.
he loses his spider powers and she loses her witch powers, and
Yeah.
it's all
Except
within
she
her.
loses her witch powers an hour and a half into the movie, and then an hour and
Yeah.
40 minutes in, she's like, I got him back, guys. Let's go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's kind of like if these movies are a pool, or not a pool, maybe more like a river. If like the length of the river is the movie, and the depth of the river is um like character development, these are just great. These are just the
Mariana's
deepest.
Trench.
Yeah, these are the deepest rivers, and as soon as you step in, you are just drowning.
Yes.
Whereas like other ones, they're just progressively getting deeper
Yeah.
as you get further in.
Mhm.
All right. So, what are we thinking about Kiki's Delivery Service? Where do we want to rate it?
I would have it in Howell's hair.
I can agree with that. I think of the vibes movies that Miyazaki has, this is a more successful one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll yeah, I'm good with that.
yeah. Because when I was making the comparison with Spirited, Ponyo, and this one, I would say this is like that. It's in the middle of them too,
Yeah.
Mhm.
of the vibes.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if we explained it or not, but like Miyazaki does not have a bad movie.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Okay, that's your opinion. Like so I was gonna say like it's gonna be hard to tier these because like I think on Letterboxd like almost all of these movies has it's a
There's
four,
like a
4.5, or
4.
a 5,
Yeah.
4, 4.5, or a
Yeah.
5. So it's like all like,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
yeah. So
All right, next up we got Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
I was completely surprised with this film.
This one,
Holy shit!
this one might be one of my favorites.
Interesting. I need to
this
see
is
it now.
fucking insane movie.
This is like Dune for kids.
Th-
Did
This
you, like,
Fuck!
you
Why
see
did
my,
I watch it?
Did you see my Letterboxd review for this one at all? or
Yeah,
no?
as soon as you put your review, I was like, hold on,
Hold on.
'Cause
I
I
kind of wanted to see it too.
I started my watching this, and then I saw you log it, and I was like, oh, perfect. And then I saw what you wrote, and I was like, all right, let's see what we're working with here.
This
Um,
this is one of 3 Miyazaki 5 stars that I gave him. And I don't give 5 stars out that easily.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's fucking incredible.
yeah, and
Um,
for those who don't for the Letterboxd review,
oh yeah,
hold on,
I have
let
it
me
pulled up if you want.
okay.
I
yeah.
also have it pulled up.
right.
You said, "What in the Mad Max meets Dune meets Starship Troopers is this masterpiece? Extremely unique story with absolutely incredible world building." Like,
Yeah.
I need to watch this movie, man.
Yeah,
You
this
do.
is one I
It's-
was
it's really
upset I
good.
didn't get to.
Yeah.
It's just. I
good.
I do have to admit, like in the first like maybe half hour, I was a little bit iffy on it, but like
Mhm.
it just picks up and it just keeps going, and the ending was just insane. I'm
Oh
not gonna
my
spoil
god, it
any.
was.
Oh, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like, oh, I was
I
completely
think this.
side blinded by this movie, and I
Side
can't believe I
blinded?
w- w- what is it? Blindsided?
Blindsided,
Blindsided.
yes.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, you know what I mean. Fucking. Alright, relax.
Yeah, but this is another. This is another one of those anti-war films where it's just incredibly like in depth. There's a great scene where Nausicaa, her father, gets killed by like this other army, and she just like completely loses it. She like kills everyone who or she tries to kill everyone in the room, and that's like the turning point for her where she's just like, no, or what's his name? Patrick Stewart's in this, and he's one of the best characters also ever.
Yeah.
He's Lord Yupa is the swords master or the blade master. Um,
So he's Josh
And-
Brolin, is what I'm hearing.
pretty much, yeah.
pretty
He's
much, yeah.
Or actually, sorry, he's himself in the original Dune.
yeah.
He just plays himself again.
But yeah, but that's the moment where she's like, no, there's like killing is not solving anything besides just like a placeholder for this rage. It's just so well done. This and another movie we'll get to literally in a second or two are like probably my favorite of these anti-war
Oh, yeah.
movies.
Mhm.
Yo, I think
that-
I
I
need to
think-
watch this movie.
You
Yeah,
really
I might
do.
watch it
This
today.
I
Yeah.
highly, highly recommend watching this.
It's
one.
got the huge bugs.
hmm
Oh, dude.
This is Castle in the Sky for me.
Oh, this is top tier, absolutely.
That's so weird because, like, when you think about like Ghibli and Miyazaki, this one never come. I had never heard of this movie before.
No, and it's well, I talked to my coworker because she's really into like anime and stuff like that too. She's like, "You gotta watch Nausicaa." I'm like, "All right, I'll just watch Nausicaa." It's like, and she's like, I told her, I'm like, "This is like super slept on," and like, I
Yeah.
can't believe like this is not more because everybody knows, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving
Mm.
Castle, Princess Mononoke, and stuff like that. But like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving this one a shot within
Yep.
the next couple days.
yeah,
Yep,
I would highly
same.
recommend it.
All right, next up we got Porco Rosso.
Porco Rosso. good
Porco
old-
Rosso is such a vibe.
It's such a vibe. It may not be the greatest movie, but it's such a vibe.
It's
Um,
all about the main character. He's just like the coolest dude.
Aaron, I want you to guess without looking it up who English voices Porco Rosso.
When did this movie come out?
92.
1992.
I just looked
Yes.
it up.
Oh man, I'm getting. I don't know why you said 92. I'm getting Samuel L. Jackson vibes.
No.
All right, who is it?
Michael Keaton.
That's
Beetlejuice.
ridiculous. Beetlejuice. Hey, everybody, what's going on?
No, basically Porco Rosso. He was like a World War One pilot, Italian pilot, or no, was he Italian? Oh, he was a pilot in World War Two. And then basically
Italian.
like he's now a bounty hunter kind of situation. But somehow he turned into a pig
Mm.
during the war. So obviously he had to throw in some of that Miyazaki imagination. And then like he has to build his plane back up to fight this American flying ace that sided with pirates and stuff like that. So it's good. It's just not it's not like it's a fun movie. And
Yeah.
I think this is probably his funniest movie that I've seen.
hmm
Like I didn't like laugh out loud a lot of times, but like there's a chuckle here and there. So
Yeah. This is another one where it's just like the plot is maybe the most like, I don't know, shallow. There's not like, it is anti-war to an extent. Like Porco is again like he's anti-war after his fighting experience, but it really is just like I'm here to watch Michael Keaton and just like vibe out as a pilot as a pig.
So
On the
I have a
beach.
question about this
Yeah.
movie. Was his name Porco Rosso before he turned into a pig? And that's why he
No,
turned
it
into a pig?
was-
Or
It was Marco. It was Marco something.
so he turned into a pig and everyone was like, Porco.
Hey, Porco.
Yeah.
Hey, Pork Boy, what's going on, Pork Boy?
Porco.
Pretty much, but it is
Fucking Pork Boy.
Stupid. This is another one though. Weird relationship with a young girl. Not Porco. Porco's not
Yes.
the weird one. But the American pilot is like, I will leave you alone if I can have this, I don't know, 14-year-old girl's hand in marriage or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know why there's such an insistence on it.
Yeah. You know, we did skip over the fact that also comes up in Howl's Moving Castle too. Where the she's on her way to like the bakery or whatever, and she gets like interrupted right at the beginning when she was still a young
Oh, yeah.
person by the two
yeah.
cops, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on? You're
Yeah.
cute." And it's like, guys.
Kind of a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Troubling theme.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know how old she is in Howl's Moving Castle, but even if she is an adult, they were a little
It was creepy.
yeah. Yeah.
Hey, don't worry, we'll walk you home and just take this this detour through this back alley. Why don't you?
Mhm.
Nothing wrong here.
Ah, we're just humble police officers. We're just trying to protect you.
Mhm. But Christian Bale as Howl saves the day.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
absolutely.
yeah.
But we're not talking about Howl's Moving Castle. We're talking about
Yeah,
Pork
yeah.
Boy.
Pork Boy.
Poor boy.
Again, it's not. I don't think it's on the same tier as Castle in the Sky and Kiki's. As
Yeah.
a movie, it's still a vibe and it's still
was
a
gonna say-
fun movie.
This sounds like a vibe.
Yeah.
So
It's a vibe for me.
yeah, it's not a bad movie though whatsoever.
No, I had a really good time with it.
It's a good one.
Give it a shot.
All right.
Yeah. I
Next.
thought you were gonna say something.
No, I was not. I thought I had something I didn't.
All right. Next up, we got Princess Mononoke.
This one.
Wow.
So I, off the heels of watching movies like Ponyo and Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service, I watched Princess Mononoke, and the first scene where he literally straight up shot a dude's hand off. I was like,
So
"Yo,
sick.
what the fuck? What am I watching?" He shot the dude's head off, and I was like,
Yeah.
"This is in the movie? What is this?"
This is like, hey, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
No, this is the other one I was talking about where this is probably another great look
Oh
at
my god.
anti-war.
gosh.
This is also one of my favorites.
This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
legitimately one of the best fantasy movies I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's phenomenal. I mean, the world that he builds on so little. I mean, realistically, we don't know a lot about this world that he created other than gods and forest spirits, little villages, and Irontown. But you get so much from that. You understand a lot about the kind of world that they're living in and the traditions and the things that people believe in. And then he tells an amazing story that's anti-war and pro-environmentalism, and it's just so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this for me, this is like Grave of the Fireflies is number 1. This is number 2 for Studio Ghibli. Like this is almost as good as it gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Hot take.
Oh god.
Ashitaka is probably a top 3 protagonists
Oh.
of all time.
Oh yeah.
I agree. Ashitaka
Yeah.
is
Oh my
one of the best main characters I've ever watched.
Yeah.
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 Dude
I
was
think
getting
it's
shot, stabbed, and just
Well, not only that,
powered
he's just
through.
like he cares about like not only like the force, but he also cares about the other people.
the
and,
people of
Mhm.
Iron.
the people of
Yeah.
Irontown, and like yeah, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
That's why I found myself really drawn to it, is because it's not that. I feel like a lot of movies, there's a good side and a bad side,
Mm-hmm.
and this movie does a great job of painting it as like, no, these people are good people. The forest is a good place too. The problem isn't the people. The problem is greed,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
the
I feel like
powers.
The
yeah,
inability to coexist with one another, or
And I
the
feel like that kind of-
unwillingness to coexist with one another.
and I feel like that kind of ties into Nausicaa too.
Yeah,
You know, she was kind of like on both sides also.
yeah,
So I
Incredible.
I saw that theme a lot with his films. Is like, you know, there's this one protagonist. He's like in the middle. He's like a gray Jedi. He's like he doesn't go to the light side. He doesn't go to the dark side. He's in the
Mhm.
middle.
Great
Be curious
comparison.
of both.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, this movie just looks incredible too.
Oh, the
Mhm.
animation is so good in this one.
Yeah.
Like
M,
you're
M
talking
was reading too. She was reading while I was watching this, and she just stopped reading. And was like, "Man, the music is really good." Well, I was like, "Yeah, it is. Hell yeah."
the
Yeah.
scene of him like shooting the guy's hand off, like in the early scene when the raiders are just attacking,
Mm-hmm.
so fluid that you don't expect from just like a 2D movie from
Oh yeah.
the I guess 97, but still you just don't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah,
Eh,
easily top tier.
yeah,
Yeah,
plus
I
the
think so.
Yeah, the design of the forest spirit too,
Oh,
so cool, so cool.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I saw this movie like when I was younger, I would have been like fucking scared to death about it. like
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will say, maybe it's just like the horror sicko in me. At the end when like the forest spirit turns into like just like
yeah.
the thing where like the blood just can kill anything that touches it. Would
Yeah.
have been cool to see like some people accidentally touch it, just to see the destruction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You're a
'cause it's not like they
psychopath.
shied away.
I am.
horror in you.
Yeah, the horror in me would
The
have loved
horror
to
in
see
you.
it.
But yeah, it's not like they had shied away from showing any like gore
Exactly.
or violence
People
earlier
are
in
getting
the movie.
decapitated.
But it wasn't too. It wasn't again. It wasn't too like over the top. You know.
No, it wasn't like overly gratuitous or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Spirited Away.
I love Spirited Away. It's so
Yeah.
good. This is like if you were to make a vibes movie and just make the whole movie incredibly good and engaging and still tell a good story the whole time, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the best of balancing a very character-driven story with
Oh yeah.
a very good plot.
Mm-hmm.
She grows so much throughout the
Mhm.
entire movie.
Mhm.
When you
Yeah.
first see her, versus when you know they leave it's just insane. And she does
And-
everything for her parents. You know, like
Yeah.
she works at the place for her parents. She does all this stuff because
Exactly.
she wants to see her parents again normally.
Yeah.
You know.
Like it
Mhm.
maintains the focus the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
This is
I
another
think
one where the world building is like
The world
incredible.
building was great.
and this is top tier of Miyazaki's creativity and imagination. Like
Mhm.
the whole hotel and all of the creatures that live there and work there, they're all so unique and so interesting. And there's subplots that like it's like, how does a person come up with this and create this? Like it
Yeah.
is I think the peak of his creative ability to just make things that you couldn't even imagine existing or being put down on paper, let alone made into a movie.
Yeah.
And I think No Face is probably one of the most iconic like anime characters.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Easily.
definitely.
Like even if you haven't seen Spirited Away, you're like, oh, well, that's from that movie, you know, kind of like that. So
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is maybe like the most well-known anime film in all of the Western world.
I think so. For good reason too. For good reason.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The food too. The food looks great. Love the food.
Oh, yeah. Every Studio Ghibli movie, the food is just like it looks very appetizing.
Yeah.
Outside of Nausicaa too, I don't know why or I don't know how the grass it just looks so like so comfortable. Like I just want to
Yes. They
Yeah,
always
I-
make just wait till you watch The Wind Rises.
No, I was gonna save that point for The Wind Rises too.
Yeah. Well,
But I was just like, no, I gotta say it now.
yeah, it's like it's like laying on a fluffy blanket.
Yeah, it's like, man, the wind just like rustling around you.
Mm.
I'm sure if you lay down there, you can just hear the score playing in your.
Absolutely. All right, where are we putting Spirited Away? I think it's top tier.
Oh, it's got to be
Yeah,
top 2.
it has to be top.
Okay.
All right, next we got My Neighbor Totoro.
Totoro.
It's cut off. Yeah, sorry, Totoro.
It's all right. That's not your worst one. Oh no, I gotta tell it. So we did a review of The Mummy, and so obviously lots of Egyptian names and places and stuff like that. And so Connor immediately is like, "All right, so I'm gonna mess some of these up. Just bear with me." Whatever. He goes through the plot in the town of Thebes. Just
wasn't that
immediately.
I said Thebes.
Thebes, and I was like Thebes. It was just an immediate, like 3 words in to the plot. Anyways, My Neighbor Totoro. Again, this is a vibes movie. Nothing, and this is like one of the movies that I honestly didn't like as much as I was hoping I would.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's cute. It's a cute movie.
yes. But my biggest complaint with My Neighbor Totoro is that there is not enough Totoro in My Neighbor Totoro. He's like
I
in
agree.
it for like 5 minutes of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had heard very good things about this one, and I had already like seen several Studio Ghibli movies before I watched this one, and I was like, oh man, like this one is gonna have like Howl's Moving Castle level like wonder and amazement, and
Yeah.
like the cat bus at the end and Totoro were awesome, but for the most part, it was a lot more like grounded than I
Yeah.
was expecting and hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Still good.
like
It's a still good movie, you know.
and,
Yeah.
but there's
For
really
me
also like
anyways.
no conflict in it, really. It's
Mhm.
just seeing these
Yeah.
kids be kids for a while, and then like one thing, it's like, oh, the girl's gone missing. Oh, there she is.
Well, the biggest
Mhm.
conflict
The
is
cat bus took her right to her.
the mom is sick in the hospital, so like they
Yeah,
know.
but it's not even like a major plot. Like it is a major plot point, but it really doesn't feel like it.
Mhm.
It is. It's just like we just watch the 2 main characters be kids, and I don't mind that,
Mhm.
but I was a little disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was mostly just like a route of escapism for the
Mhm.
children who like, dad's always working and mom's in the hospital. Um so like they kind of have to go out and find their own entertainment and keep themselves busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I saw this movie when I was younger, kind of thing like that, I think I would relate to it more because
Yeah.
Mhm.
we were all young. We all had imaginary friends or whatnot, and we all had like that escape world that we had.
Mhm.
So I think we could relate to that a little bit more.
Yeah, same.
But seeing it when I'm 26 years old, it's it's a little different.
Yeah, it's a bit just like whatever.
Yeah. Um but the parts that were like Totoro and the cat bus were very cool.
Very fun. Yes.
Like
very
yeah,
fun.
a lot of fun and
Mhm.
very like animated very well, and especially for 1988 I think is when it came
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
Like it looked really good.
It's impressive. All right, where are we putting Totoro?
I'm good with I'd put it in. It's still a vibe.
Yeah, I would say it goes there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
if
I
we're
guess.
if we're required to have one in the bottom tier, then I'm okay with it being Totoro. But if we don't need one in the bottom tier, then I would say it's still a vibe.
We can
don't
always
need
move
to
these
have
guys
one.
around. We can always
No,
move
we
these
don't.
guys around later.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
only 11 of them, so we can. Once we're done, we could always see where everything shook out and
Yeah.
Mhm.
go
Just the
from
way I
there.
look at it is like, is Totoro as good as Porco Rosso? I haven't seen Porco Rosso, so I don't know.
It's
I would say-
again, it's two different movies. It's just like it's hard to
Yeah.
compare them, you know.
Yeah.
Except
I would
that's
say for
exactly what we're doing on this episode.
For what they're going for, I would say they succeed about equally.
Yeah, I can agree with
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Next up,
Next.
we got The Boy and the Heron.
There was a lot of buzz around this movie last year.
Yeah,
Or
it
whenever
stole
it
the
came out.
Oscar from Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. This I
this is a
wish I
tough
liked it
movie.
more. I
Me
did
too.
not like it as much as I thought I would. I was really excited to see it. And it felt like as soon as they got into the fantasy land, it just was kind of like, all right, we're doing this and that's done, and then we're gonna go do this and that's done, and then we're gonna go do this and then that's done, and then it was over.
Mm-hmm.
Is nothing really. It's like characters were introduced and then they were dropped for the rest of the movie.
I think it
And
did a really good job setting up in the first quarter of the movie.
Yeah.
I the first act was the best for me. I really enjoyed it.
and it still looks great. It's really well voice acted. So
Yeah,
but
the voice
it's
acting
just-
was incredible.
Again, I talked to my coworker a lot because she loves these movies. She's like, go watch Boy and the Heron, and I'm like, yeah, I know, like Robert Pattinson, Christian Bale. She's like, yeah, just watch the movie and just try to figure out what character Robert Pattinson voices.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
When I found out,
it
that's
is pretty
insane.
impressive that
Yeah.
he can play the heron.
He's such a talented voice actor. Like,
Yeah.
He really is.
like I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Like, I know
no.
he's starting to get some more love as an actor, but like in almost every role he's done over the past decade, he's had like a different accent, and he's just, I don't know, he's very good at it.
Yeah.
I know I've said it before in the past on something completely different, but I think something that a lot of actors nowadays just don't want to do is just something that would completely embarrass them. Like I think actors like staying in like their comfort zone. They like staying where they can at least maintain their image of
Yeah.
like coolness or whatever. I just don't
at,
think he cares.
at The Rock.
Not even that, like just I think actors just know where their bread is buttered and they like to stay
Yeah.
there.
I think
Madison,
too.
he just will do whatever he thinks is interesting.
Yeah.
I think on that point too, it's like, especially with voice work, actors, a lot of big actors, they want to make sure that you know it's them.
Yeah, like Chris Pratt.
Yeah, like you listen to
Yeah.
Chris Pratt and or like Kevin Hart, and it's like, okay, it's just Kevin Hart. It's just Kevin Hart in Kevin Hart role. But
Yeah.
like in The Boy and the Heron, like it is unrecognizable, and you legitimately don't know that for a lot of these movies, really. I mean, you get tinges of it, but it's like a lot of them do really interesting things with their voice work.
Mm-hmm.
So
Going off
Yeah.
your point, Connor. Yeah, with Robert Pattinson, like he was not going to be my top 5 for the next Batman. You know, like
mhm.
Well, yeah. I think he's just someone who you give him a role and he will rise to the occasion.
Absolutely.
Like I know
Yeah.
what's it, Mickey 17, the trailers have come out.
Mm-hmm.
Preposterous voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is wild. It is kind of crazy.
well, I just think he got a bad rep from Twilight. So
Yeah,
He really did.
but I think that's just the way people work is that you do one thing that has a bad image in people's head, it just sticks forever.
That's who you are. You're the
Mhm.
Twilight guy. He's Robert.
Dude,
That's always forever.
That's Daisy Ridley. You know, she got
Yeah.
so much shit for being Rey, but like she's a great actor. You know, actress. So it's
the
like
same thing happened with Kristen Stewart from Twilight. It was like, oh, she can't act, she's not good, and then
yeah.
Kristen Stewart has quietly put a very good filmography together.
Yeah, she showed that she has more than one emotion. She's got two. I'm sorry.
Horny is sad.
I'm sorry. uh, no, she's an excellent actress. I can't say that.
Yeah, she's done some good stuff since Twilight.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, no, I look, I like The Boy and the Heron. Don't think it's like a vibe movie.
No,
but
this is like a love letter to Miyazaki's career. Like I watched this after seeing pretty much everything else. Not everything, but mostly everything else. And there's definitely like it encapsulates most of what he's done. But I don't know. I feel like the third act is what really lost me. Like
Yeah, it was a little yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know if I was just lost for no reason and it's all on me, but I just did not understand what the parrots had to do with anything, and they were like the main conflict in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking Dave Bautista voices the Parrot King.
Yep.
God.
No, like I think the voice acting in this movie was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I think
Agreed.
that kind of picks up the movie a little bit. So
Yeah. So
Yeah.
where do we
I'm
want to
going
put it?
I'm going between Howls and a Vibe.
I think so. I just don't see it being as good at like maybe like top end vibe.
I could yeah, I can agree with that.
I could definitely see myself like because everything else is there. The voice acting is great, animation is great. You have all of like the cool wondrous stuff. I didn't really connect with it. I could see on another watch me connecting with it and it just like skyrocketing up to one of my favorite Ghibli movies. But as of right now, yeah, it's still a vibe or lower Howl's Hair.
Well, this
Leaving
was supposed to be
Vibe
his
for
last movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
He's making another one right now, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He can't be stopped.
Yeah, it's like Denzel saying like, "Oh, I got a couple more movies and then I'm retiring," and then like a couple days later, he's like, "I never said I'm retiring."
All right, next.
Next, we got The Wind Rises.
Now
Unfortunately, this is the only one I have not seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one.
This is all right. It's basically up to me and half of Connor.
Yeah.
This is the love letter that Miyazaki wrote to himself before he created Boy and the Heron. So it is a fictional. It's not a biopic, but it does tell the story of an actual person named Jiro Hatashime. I don't want to get that wrong. Fuck.
Horikoshi.
Yes, Horikoshi. Thank you. Jiro Horikoshi, who was a plane engineer in World War II, Japan, basically in the 1920s and 30s and 40s. And so this movie tells the story of his life. And it's so much different than anything else that Ghibli has done and Miyazaki have done, in that it is like kind of a telling of someone's real life, but it still carries a lot of the weight and imagination of what you'd expect from Miyazaki films, and where it doesn't place it in the real world. Like there's no like Porco Rosso is like, yeah, this is real life, except the main character is a pig. You know, this is more like he has dream sequences where he meets his hero, is this Italian aviation engineer. And those are the sequences where it's like, here's a lot of wonder, but a lot of the rest of the film feels very grounded. And it really feels more than anything like an introspective look at like the life of a man who has dedicated his life to creation. And it works extremely well on that level.
Some of the vibes.
Go, please go.
So, like I was saying, I only watched like half of it, but I was really drawn to it, so I wanted to read some like what other people had taken away as their themes. And the dreams were a big part of what people took from it.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of like what you were saying is he's a big dreamer. Like, all he wants to do is build planes. Like that's his dream. And he keeps like having this dream with Caproni. He's the Italian engineer. But then it's a lot of people pointed out that you always get like the contrast of his dreams of building planes with the reality of his planes being used for war,
Yes. Yep.
and takes place during World War II.
Yep.
Which maybe it's just because like my mind always has to try to make a comparison to something else or a connection, and I kind of got like the Oppenheimer vibe of like this is someone who wants to create something for like their own purpose. Like he wants to create the plane for himself, for his dreams. Oppenheimer wants to create the bomb for science.
Mm-hmm.
And the world wants to take that and use it for its own twisted purposes.
Yes, I could definitely see that.
Again, even though it's a more of like a biopic, it does have its strong anti-war messages.
100%. And it is so much more grounded than anything else that Miyazaki has
Yeah.
done. It's feels real, and it tells a really beautiful love story in it too. That really carries it through the second half of the film, and the ending is just incredible and like heartbreaking, but also again like the very end, the final scene literally is like you could see Miyazaki looking back at his life and saying, "Okay, I this is what I've done, and I'm happy with my creation," and
Yeah.
walks off into the distance, kind of thing. And then he made
Well-
The Boy and the Heron. But at the time,
Yeah.
this was his final masterpiece, so to say. It was, and it is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the line too earlier in the movie where it's like, do you want to live in a world with pyramids or without the pyramids?
Mm-hmm.
And you think like, what does that mean? It's like, do you want to live in this world with these advancements, even if um, the things that made these advancements aren't the best? Or
Yeah.
do you want to just live in a bland world where there is no creation and
Yeah.
everyone is just safe and whatever?
Yeah, there's a lot of very introspective lines like that. I mean, there's another line where where he's having this dream, and the Italian guy says to the main character, he says, artists only create for 10 years, and engineers are much the same. So what are you going to do with those years? And it's like that those lines is like really like, oh my god, it hits. So,
Where would you put this? Because you've seen it, and you would probably you're the only one who could give it a.
I really like this. I think it's high-end Howl's Hair. I think that's a fair place to put it. I don't think that it lives directly up to the exact same as like a Mononoke or a Spirited Away or a Howl's Moving Castle for me, but I think it's like the very top end. Like it maybe is like first four out in March Madness. Like it's almost made it.
Yeah. I would agree. I can't wait to finish it once we're done.
Yeah, it's very good. And
right.
last but not least,
We got Ponyo.
Ponyo.
Maybe the best outro song.
Ponyo, Ponyo, Ponyo.
He's a little fish.
Ponyo's one that I did grow up with. Like we were saying, how if we grew up with My Neighbor Totoro, we'd probably like it more. I did grow up with Ponyo. I watched this all the time when I was a kid, so I absolutely love it. I have a lot of nostalgia with it.
Okay.
It obviously. I know you guys aren't really gonna like it much, but I think it is one of the better vibe movies. I think the visuals are. This is really like the underwater scenes are really like as good as it gets for
I agree with that.
the Studio Ghibli animation. I think the score is very good. And also another one of Miyazaki's bags is environmentalism. I think this is another example of that. Doesn't touch on it super deeply, but I think this is like one of my favorite vibes movies. Like it's a comfort movie for me for sure.
I can
But
see that.
I'm okay if you guys don't like it. I'll live.
I am not
Not my
much
fa-
of
I
a
think this
fan
is-
of Ponyo.
I think this is probably my least favorite out of his
Yes.
films, but
Yes.
again, not it wasn't bad. You know, I think I gave it like a 3.5 or something like that. So
Hmm.
I gave it a 3. The more I think about it, it might be closer to a 2.5 for me. It just doesn't do much. There's just not much going, man. It's like, here's Ponyo, and Ponyo's there, and Ponyo and the main character, and then, oh, look at that, the movie's over. Ponyo, Ponyo, Ponyo.
Hmm.
I mean, visually, yeah, I definitely like it. I like how the water is animated, especially in like the scene when Ponyo first becomes a human. She's like running on the waves, and
Mhm.
you can see it looks like eels or fish. I did like that a lot. But I don't know. There's just like this is one where it's very character driven, and there's not a lot else going on.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the plot with her father and was it the water spirit,
Yeah.
her
Something like
mother, I
that.
guess.
Hmm.
I couldn't follow along.
Well, there really
I-
wasn't any plot to it. It was like, oh, I'm gonna call your mother, and then the mother comes and is like, yeah, just let her do what she wants, man. And then the movie's over. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, so why does it matter if she's human? Like why
Yeah. I don't know.
Because Liam Neeson cares about his daughters. Okay.
exactly he's got to get her back.
I need her. Where is she?
No, that's Christian Bale.
Oh shit.
He's in another. He's in 2 other movies. So
Damn it.
Take a lap. Liam Neeson.
Ra's al Ghul, all right?
Um,
That's what we need.
I still think it was a good vibe. It was very cute. I think the voice acting was good. And again, the animation was good. So personally, I would put it in low tier of it's still a vibe.
It's not his best work for me. It's really not. It's just not. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's just, it doesn't do much.
Hmm.
It really doesn't. It like, but I think too, Noah's point is right. It's like, this is a very much a child's movie, and children will love it. But like, I watched it for the first time this week, and I was fine with it. It was fine.
Hmm. I think I think I would have this over Totoro, even if I had never seen this before, just because I think the animation and like the magical stuff is a step above Totoro's.
Mm-hmm.
And really, like, I don't know, at the end of the day, they are mostly just look at how cool this stuff is that we thought of.
Yeah. Look at this fish.
Um,
Look at the fishy.
Yeah. But I would say, taking my nostalgia out of it, Ponyo is definitely bottom 2, bottom 3.
I also do
Yeah.
like just looking at the English cast, how Ponyo and Sasuke are like it's Noah Cyrus and Frankie Jonas.
Yeah.
It's just like
Mhm.
the 2 cast-offs of their famous
Of their
families.
families.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
It kind of fits the vibe of the movie. It's like, oh yeah, and Ponyo.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This movie critic I follow on Letterboxd, his review of it is, this man Miyazaki really said, "Yo, let me take this dumb fucking fish and turn it into a heartwarming and incredibly charming movie that is going to make your bitch ass cry."
Yeah. That's about right for Ponyo. All right, where are we putting Ponyo? My vote is not his best work.
My vote is low tier vibe.
I would have
I
to
would
agree
ag-
with Aaron.
Oh,
Okay, I mean, I'm obviously on Team Vibe.
Do we have to get a coin?
Ah,
well,
Christ. I have a
there's
coin right
there's
here.
Not an odd there's no longer an odd number of us.
I
So,
know. All right. So I've got a coin here. It's if it says Blood Hunter, it is vibe. If it's blank, it is not his best work. All right.
It's gonna be Blood Hunter.
It is in fact blank. Throwing it up to the camera. So it is not his best work.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough. The coin never lies. All right, and that's it. There's our. So is there anything that we want to adjust here before we finalize this?
Having not seen The Wind Rises and Nausicaa, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the best. This is actually a really good tier.
All right.
I feel very kind of validated that the 3 movies I haven't seen are in a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
picked them good.
Yeah, you did. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this episode. If you like what you listen to, follow us along. Subscribe, leave a rating, and share with your friends. It really helps us out. Lets us know we're doing a good job. All that fun stuff. You can follow us on socials. Those will be linked in the show notes below. But we're pretty much everywhere. We're on TikTok. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Twitter a little bit now, mainly on Blue Sky. And you can watch us in video on YouTube. I need to plug that, even though I forget. Also, follow us on Letterboxd. We'll all be linked in the show notes below. So you can follow us along there. You can see what Connor's watching, when he's watching it. And you don't have to wait for each episode to figure out the 18 movies that he sees every week. And go to our website, firstpicturehouse.com, for new movie content all the time. We're all writing, Noah's going to be writing some articles for us as well. So you'll get to see some of his stuff. If by chance, whoever is listening to this has been following along since the beginning, you will be able to see some of Noah's work way back. For like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Dungeons and Dragons, those kind of movies. So if you like that style of writing, it's coming back. He's here. So
You want to see what a good review looks like. It's
yeah,
coming
right.
back.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Connor, do you have the sticky note?
It's an Excel sheet now.
Okay.
So, no, what I do is I have a list of very well-rated movies that I want to expand my my watch list. So I asked the gents to just pick a number, 1 through 12, and it's gonna recommend me a movie.
All right.
Okay, nice.
4.
So, 4. You guys can
said
pick a
2.
number. Oh, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, 2.
Oh,
2.
2, 4, 2, and
7.
7. All right. So I'm going to be watching Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind,
Great
The
pick.
Conversation,
Don't know
and
it.
Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, well, stay tuned for next
nice.
week to hear his thoughts, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Awesome.
Ponyo, ponyo, ponyo.
The B movie.